before I even get into the the nutty of it, bro, you could do what you want. I'm not saying a formation like your Teen Titans Go, you have to make this formation to, protect somebody or attack or cause a diversion. No, you could do what you want to do, but what you got to do is adapt. If you have, if you have players left and right, up and down, across the map, next to you, you have to know who to play with. And it's not like, well, I'm solo queue, or I don't know what I could do, or I don't know what I can do to help you. Improvise, bro. That's the only word I've been saying for the past few weeks. Improvise, bro. If you're a Habana and you are stuck in a 1vx with Buck, you may think, well, Buck can't do what I could do. True, but what you could do is he can make everything anything soft he could blow through. Anything hard you could blow through. And in some scenarios when you are limited in util like flashbangs for example, he has flashbangs. You can stack up your flashbang. Now you have four flashbangs. Even though you have a different ability, you can still help each other out, Like, you know what I'm saying? So, attack. Normally, attack starts from upstairs. Any and every defender starts upstairs. In certain scenarios, defense do start downstairs, as in to throw the attackers off guard on taking top floor, then having the bottom floor to be taken, and then you might pick the wrong operators. You might have to use fuse a bit more closer to the enemies versus being upstairs. So that's the only thing about it when it comes to defenders going downstairs. So an attack formation pretty much is you have your teammates spawn anywhere they want to. Formations actually happen when you're close enough in spawn. North and south are the most common spawns because they can meet. You can meet up here. So that's one formation. Another formation is having a drone already inside. This is drone preparation. A drone where you prep is normally where you're going to be pushing from. And 50 out of 50, when you have a prep drone, you're obviously not going to always push this area, but you're just looking in the area. Because this area might connect to where you're going to. Like, for example, if I wanted to be an attacker and I wanted to push this window, the only way they can kill me is if they C4 me or if they jump out. And when they jump out, you can obviously look around. Oh, I have a camera here. I can see him. He comes out and you shoot him. That's the only alternative you have when it comes to that. Now attacking, this is where it gets scary. Most defenders push down. No, most attackers push downstairs because not. How would I say this? It's just something common. Not even common. Something. Yeah. It's common, but also it's something that you would want to get quicker in. Like an Ash, for example. An Ash would Ash rush anywhere she goes. But when it comes to Buck, for example, a Buck kind of has to slow his time down because he has to switch his gun from underbarrel to his primary, and also he has to take also. I would say Buck is a crutch when it comes to Ash. Even though Buck takes more to break down soft entries, but Ash is just like a one-hit boom and just runs in. I feel like Buck is a much of a crutch than Ash. But attacks. First things first, you drone. A drone is used to have basically a bird eyes view. Really, well, I'll say a roach eyes view. To pretty much scout the area, You're kind of foreshadowing, and you could be a good droner, that's possible, but if you're a bad droner, all it is just you're scouting the area. You're seeing what you want to do. You're looking for util, looking for cameras, looking for enemies, looking for people hiding, looking for all these, looking for the small thing that can make the game matter. So now when you go on site, a rush is a rush, but when you simply want to make site entry site, there's two things I want to say when it comes to attacking. You make your presence known and you enter. And if it's not those two, is you make yourself not known and you catch enemy by the element of surprise. The element of surprise kind of looks like that. This is just straight on entry, but let me find another. I would say this window. Element of surprise. Let's just say someone's gonna be here. I'm that penguin. Two things may happen. The element of surprise may be delayed, or you might get your presence known. Forget study door. Forget this AR door. So when you want to catch anybody by surprise, you time it enough so when you do your flashbang, you hop in. So that's easily sound cancellation. They're not even knowing you're inside. All they're seeing is a flashbang come across, and then the element of surprise is the drone's there, and you're slowly creeping up, and you get the kill. Now, there are some scenarios where enemies are downstairs and you have upstairs freely. This is where the cameras come in at to watch your flanks. Even though upstairs is clear for now, you still have to like multitask. And of course, when you're a solo queuer, you have to constantly go back and forth with cameras and yourself, because you can obviously trust randoms, but you can't completely give them the full control to watch drones, because most of the times they're just spectating players or is watching you try to clutch up. So when it comes to that, certain operators make noise. So when a ram, especially a ram, goes off, you would have people running. You would not hear them. You will have people flanking. You won't able to see them or hear them until you get on your roach eye view. You can see them. And then ram, honestly, just an operator lesson. It's just a better buck. That's all it is, a better buck. And something cool about this map exactly, this is a cool little map. Most of everything when it comes to the soft floors is always an entrance. There's always an entrance to something. I kind of missed the doorway on that side. Yeah, this is a cool little map. There's always an entrance to something. So having an advantage to certain maps and certain enemies are very, very, very important. Because you wouldn't want, you know, to rat spot. And there's a lot to get into attacking when it comes to how to actually attack and having formation. So when you have someone assign you to do something, like have you in a certain spot just to be ready, this is what they mean. It's not about just ramming anything, bucketing anything, Habana anything, Ace anything. Like Ace gets banned all the time just for default wall. Think about that. Ace gets banned just for default wall, like Habana can't do that. Thermite can't do that. You know, anyone with hard breaches can't do that. But it honestly bleeds into how good the operator is, you know? So when it comes to certain things like Ram, for example, you pretty much won't be seen, but you will be the main crutch. Like, not crutch. You would be, like, you would be the aids of what the attack actually is. Because you can see these guys. You can see them running around like little roaches. You can see them. As your teammate is like in sight, or your teammate is pushing sight, you could be above, as in like any operator that can get above her and just hold. And that's a type of a formation. A formation is where 2-3. 2-3 is someone two above, three down. 4-2, four roaming, two inside. It has its different abbreviations, how people call it, how people remember, how people honestly are comfortable with calling certain things. So when it comes to that, a formation is honestly not just what you would hear all the time. It's what is made up between three or more people. That's an official formation. It has to be among three or more people. Now, let me change this map. What map was it that I used the last time? It was this one. Now, another way how to attack is getting in the building. I talked about how map locations are important because you can meet up in one area at the same time, or honestly do a unique push. Let's go here. It's a very cool thing that when it comes to attack, you can read the spawn peaks. Defense has a big toll on that because they don't have no more ACOGs for all the operators. It's just DMRs. So when it comes to attacking and you're not too sure who's spawn peeking, you can always throw a drone and look through for spawn peeking. I always do that on cafe. Always. So if you let's just say you don't want to die by a spawn peek. Whoa. You don't want to die by a spawn peek. You might as well just throw a drone in the air and see what's up. So, here. Perfect. I did this in a ranked game the other day. Where'd that drone hole at? Another way to attack is making visual line of sight. And you may say, well, visual means you seeing it, blah, 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 that extra shit. You see this little cursor here in front of me? The trajectory is pretty tricky, but what you're going to have to do when it comes to an attack, let's just say someone's sitting right here, and you really can't get a good angle on him, they're in a good positioning. You can't really get a good hit on this guy. You have to project. Like, imagine. You have to really use your brain and honestly imagine. And I know it's hard to do this because you don't know maps and you don't know where it's going from this angle. And you can't really see where it's going, so you have to just imagine you throwing it literally through the fucking, like, the doorway. And it hits. So when you think about that, it's like, when you think about that, it's like you're not even outside. Like, I mean inside. Like, how are you hitting me from all the way from outside? And that's where the person runs away, or they full commit anticipating that you're gonna hop in, and that's where the challenge comes in at. So it kind of look like this. Once that flash goes off, he has no clue I'm inside, and we just wait, or we push him. And another way to honestly work on your attack formations and attack in general is getting used to shooting through barricades. Get used to that, because when you get used to it, you don't honestly rely on seeing somebody just for a kill, because it honestly makes the enemy feel, it kind of goes into the element of surprise. Like, that's a big element though. It's being able to being able to position a wall bang is so good because you don't want to have yourself always being seen. Because if they know you're somebody else, they're gonna know, okay, don't push him. They're Cali, you know, or don't do this, don't do that. So easy case scenario is to get a kill and just risk that ping. Because if you don't know, when you kill someone and you're not pinged, you get a automatic ping. They ping you automatically. And in a world, in what world do you live in? You know, let me just show. A cool way to honestly separate a good attacker from a bad attacker is isolation. You do not have to clutter yourself with kills or having kills surround you, because you have to realize now, 3 buffaloes could kill 1 lion. And then I said, well, the lion's stronger, he has claws, teeth, and all that extra stuff. Well, buffaloes are actually, you know, they have up to speed, they have horns, they have body weight, and they can literally stomp out and make a lion special ed. Like, literally, bro. So you won't even want to put yourself in spots where, well, this kill, well, I go up here and I wall bank him and I miss. I go here, I just do this. Like, you're moving too much. Slow down. Just relax, calm down, isolate your fights, and not anticipate fights, but also foreshadow. Because if you kill someone here, you're going to have to know someone's pushing here. So you have to do 2 things. You have to lean back in, hold an angle, or switch super fast, you know? But let me show something. Sometimes it takes a quick stop to think about something. Because you may know where everybody is at, but you have to realize now, they're moving as much as you are, as a defender actually. So, let me get deep into this. Your first 20 to 30 steps is the enemy already moving. No, your first 20 to 30 steps is the enemy already anticipating where you're going to push from. So that saves them. What? How? 20 plus 30, that'd be 50. I would divide them a minus 3 minutes, no, 3 minutes of siege. You already took away a minute 50 from the enemy, so they literally have till seconds to make a entry. And you notice that where enemies was like, you know, spawn in but never push the building because they don't know they can't get inside, you know. And it's always the last second they run into traps. They just full sprint. They don't take their time. They just die by stupidness, because that's what defense does to attack. The first 20 to 30 steps as an attacker is already the defense team knowing where you're coming from, or taking a guess, or already making their way over there, or just having 20,000 of traps there, or even just being vulnerable in a spawn peak. You know, like, imagine that. Imagine your first three, 4 steps you getting shot at from fucking a window as an attacker. That's annoying, you know. But pretty much isolating and taking your time. You don't have to make yourself seem cool, to have these cool flicks or this and that and, you know, all that other stuff. So when it comes to taking fights, I'm gonna use this for an example in the Switch. Like, taking fights, it's not difficult once you overthink it. As you can tell, someone is in bathroom and you have someone else also in strip club hallway. How would I isolate this fight? I'm in a 2v2 scenario, and they're, as you can hear, they're moving. You can hear like they're actually walking around. So by me not moving gives them time to move. That's one thing. And like I said, every 30 to 20 steps is your enemy combatant already moving as well at a faster pace. How can I isolate this fight without dying? Or how can I get the better pick? If I flash him and he doesn't swing, he may swing. Or if I flash this and swing him, I might get one tap based on the angle he has. So how can I fight this fight successfully? You miss your shot sometimes, and then this guy's here. And two flashbangs are initially for people who like to tuck and then swing off the first flashbang. And that is a real thing. People do swing off flashbangs, off of nades especially, and I don't really see much smoke, but people walk through smokes as it goes off. So I threw two flashbangs on purpose. Then you have the guy here clueless as hell at what has happened. He's probably thinking, well, he might come through games or pool. No, 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 no. I'm on this angle. And sometimes when people throw things, like, for example, that is a diversion. That is an illusion. Normally when people throw drones, they get on it. But certain scenarios, how I do it, I will throw a drone and just swing as soon as I throw it, which is what is normally meant to do. But it's just a attack tactic. And I must say, there's zero. I won't say zero. There's a little bit of skill when it comes to formation and attacking. And then there's tactics, flashbanging while swinging, throwing gadgets while swinging as well, drones, because people anticipate you doing what you are doing. Like if I throw a buggy, they're gonna expect me to not pay attention and just focus on the floor or the window or anything else that's not gonna make me die. Or if I throw a flashbang, they're not gonna expect the defender to push off of one flashbang. Just because you're flat doesn't mean you can't see them for a period of time. So it's just knowing where someone's at and not being too scary. It's with shields too. Shields don't scare me, bro. I just can't get scared by a shield. You just know what to do. If a shooter's pushing you, you might as well run away. He might have comms on him. Or when you have a shield that's constantly being in your face, you won't be able to back up as much. Like Clash, for example, if you know a shield's in your face and he is calming to his team that you're in his face, you just can't take that fight, or you have to use time to your advantage. But anywho, it's just tactics and honestly just attacking in general. Now when it comes to formation, like core formation, Nomad, Gridlock, Grim, Sins, Duckabee works that way too. You have Buck. I'll say this now. You can have 0 kills. You can have zero kills. 0, 0, 0. If you know where the enemies love to rat, or if you know the power spots to hold down a site, this is what you would do. You have 0 kills, right? And you're not bad, but bad game. You get spawn peek, spawn killed. You're just dying by foolishness. And you have this one attack that is gonna work for you. This is actually a real thing though. First things first, you make your own site. What do you mean by that? As an attacker, you get in the building. You're not far from the attack objective, but you're at a backbone. So imagine the backbone of an animal or whatever like that. That's the very important thing of the animal or thing, because that's what supports it. That's what makes it stand upright. It doesn't matter how strong it is. It doesn't matter how fast it is. It doesn't matter how cool it looks. If the backbone isn't good enough to support it, it will fall apart. So similar to Siege, if you can attack the backbone of a good strat, like what you have castle, you have a castle there as well. You have probably a roamer going to be atop raptors. You have someone playing up here in cache as well. So an attacker, you must clear out cache, because if you don't clear out cache, they can watch from when you come through. So as an attacker, yes, you make sight of the backbone of the objective, not the backside. Okay, remember this. I'm not lost. I'm here. This is to attack church. This area, right here, to me, this here to me is the backbone. No, this is a backstab. This whole area right here is a backbone, because it pushes from the back. That's the front side. North is the front side. Backside, this has to be the backside. So when it comes to like a backside push, this is what it will look like. You have garage take and you have this backside take, and you would have what you call it, dirt, and then the front side would be barely a push, just the hatches, honestly, and fuses or whatnot. But this is the backside push. So when you as an attacker want to hold a backside push for your attack, aka formation, this is what it would look like. You can look out for flanks as an attacker. You can watch your walk up when they try to flank you. If someone tries to escape from this to flank your teammates in blue, you can kill them from upstairs. This as well, you can watch hatch. If these guys want to play crafty, you can watch hatch as well, the bottom bar as well. You have storage. You have literally storage, right? Yeah. Stock. You have stock. You have the entrance. Well, you won't need that entrance because you're attacking, not defending, so it's a bit different. But other than that, you would need those things to make an attack formation successful. And I say make sight for yourself because you don't want to constantly breaking. You don't want to get caught up still making rotations for yourself when an enemy flanks you. Like you should already have this down. So when you need to rotate, you already have it. Like you're not doing it in the making, And that's one of the cool ways I like about attack. It's just attacks and defense have formations, but I just like the attack way more than defense, bro. It's easy, but also hard when enemies know how to counter it, so you won't even know what to do when you get stuck. So let's talk about it. Let's just say if you get stuck in this scenario, you have vert, you have this, you have that. And side note, you can also defend as an attacker, bro. This is defense mode. Like, you have your teammates already moving. You know, you have to, you know, okay, he's in stock. You know, like he's in there. Blah blah blah. I'm shooting him. You know, running away, running away. He ran away. You know, or in some cases, enemies pop the hatch and immediately drop hatch when it gets too pressured. They immediately drop hatch. Another formation, not like backstab, not like any crazy, but another formation what you could do. Get used to long shotting it. What does long shot mean? Literally made it up in my head like just now. When I mean long shot, all I mean is have a drone as far as possible from you. As far as possible. This is a flank drone. Yes. This isn't you trying to push here because you're not even here. So what this drone does for you, it gives you constant intel whatever happens here. So think of this as your own security camera just in this area. So if you want to push and you have no more drones, or you have a drone here and you drone out, and someone calls out you know, on your garage camera bed, that camera saves me a lot of time because I already prepared myself to push here. The ideal isn't to drone the area then push it. The ideal is to set up a drone off what you're going to push off of if this doesn't work. Let's just say this attack didn't work and they had reinforced hatch. I got smoked. I'm 1 HP. I got C4 barely, and my only camera is this one. Worst case scenario, I have to push this because this is the only safe camera I have. Or before I actually execute, I can send my drone to me. And that makes the enemy think I'm on blue, but reality I'm already in sight. So it makes them not tunnel vision, but it honestly makes them confused. It's like his drone came from here, but he's here. Impossible. Like, how'd you get this so fast? You know? So it's not really giving yourself away, because your drones can give you away. They can. They can. So in the name of formation, don't always get used to sending your drone where you're going to push from, because it's a guaranteed kill. Yeah, but you're gonna get challenged by a spawn peek, a run out, someone hoping you push here. They're under the doorway, the window. They're just waiting for someone like you to push here. It's default. So you would set a camera on a back end of what you want to push if your first idea doesn't work. This is your B idea. This is your A. B if I don't make it to A. A if I miss B. So when it comes to that, people realize you're really not playing for aim. You're playing for mind games. You're playing for who's smart, or who's the smartest. I've witnessed it most of the times where I will go against some good ass goals, I'm not gonna lie. But their issue is they always want to fight. They always want to fast peek, one tap. They always want to fight. And the best way how I get them is by doing this. The enemy combatant might see a drone here and immediately sit right here, or watch this, or watch that, just to hope I come from garage, or I come from lounge, or I come from outside. They're not gonna know that I'm literally 33 meters away from them on fucking kitchen hatch. They won't know that. They're gonna sit in this area hoping I come from D3 directions, but not knowing I have a whole direction here, here, and here. I don't need to push you to actually get inside the building. And then this is where this drone comes in at. If he wants to full sprint as I'm planting, you're already fried, bro. I can see you. And it's not about being like I said, it's not about fighting. It's about being smart. You can beat enemies in multiple ways. Gunfights, smarts, movement. You have just strictly good aim. You have the ability to beat these guys, bro. I'm telling you. So it's just a small thing when it comes to formation and attacking. It's really, I will say this: it isn't easy, but it takes a lot to take. It takes a lot to take in. No, it's a lot to take in. I said that twice and weird. It's a lot to take in when it comes to trying to get an actual attack going, because you're like, what the fuck is going on here? Where's my team at? All you need is you, bros. All you need is yourself. That's all you need is yourself. I'm not saying it's an I and team, but when it comes to a team, they're gonna need someone, and that's you. So if the shoe fits, wear it. If you can help me, help me. Don't be like, well, you didn't ask me. Well, if you could do it, do it. Like, you don't have to be so odd, like oblivious to certain shit, bro. It's like, I see that you need help, but I'm not gonna help you because I feel like, you know, whatever you want to think about it. But bro, help me. But yeah, that's my thoughts on attack formation and just attacking in general. But there is one more thing I do want to talk about. I'm gonna do one more map. To conclude this video, real simple. What map is it? What map is it? What map is it? Is it this one? What map was it? What map was it? It's that one map when Uzi, he's always rushing with Buck. I forgot. Damn it. I'm gonna use Ash. I'm gonna switch back and forth, but I'm gonna use Ash on this one. So to conclude this video on attacking information, of course comms bleed into it. Comms obviously help a lot when it comes to that. But what I would say is, when you're solo queuing and you don't have much comms on your end, but the enemy does, you have to put yourself in that category of them calming. I want to make it more simpler. What I mean by that is, you have to really, I don't know, I'm probably just different, but you really have to dig deep on how you think when it comes to siege. Because if you know the enemy is like is calming, why don't you just act on that? If you know for a fact they're calming, why don't you just act on it? What I mean by that is, once you see certain things happening, act like you know what they're talking about. Act like you can hear them, because that's where your cheating comes from. Because you just know, like, if you know a certain push, you wouldn't really need your team to honestly talk to you, because you know how the push works. You have 1, 2, 3. If you're defending upstairs, default site, they're going to push from. I barely see mud pushes, but they would push through games and library. And once you realize that as an attacker or defender or whatever you are, like solo queuing, once you understand that where they're pushing from, you know how to isolate. You know how to approach it. You know how to appreciate what. You know how to appreciate your positioning, and Pushing. Attack. I always go IQ when it comes to this. I go IQ breaches. Why? How does this help you? How does this honestly support anything? The first 30 steps to 20 steps you have as an attacker, you would get spawn peeked if you come up these staircases as an attacker. So you just walked not even a mile and you're already dead. You get spawn peeked here as an attacker. You have back there. You do a run out and you have it here. You know, you have the window. You have from this window to there. So when you have a line of sight, not the roach, not this here, when you have a physical line of sight for yourself, not only it stops the enemies from moving, but it makes them pull back and play on angles. You're allowed to move, I get that. Well, you should get that. You're allowed to move as an attacker, but defenders, they can't. Because the more angles you create as an attacker, the more it's going to be useless more than useful to them. Because it's not because they didn't make it, it's because you're anticipating on a peak. You're peaking for a reason, you know? They're peaking for a reason as well, but it's just being contestant, basically, bro, you know? It's like it's like trying to take a shot above a midget. That's not something that you're gonna miss, right? But just the contact, the late release, the travel, the too much strength can honestly make you miss that shot. And it's just the person being contested. So it's a lot that goes into this shit, bro. Literally, bro. But as IQ, when I play Consulate, I like doing this. Well, I'll make it better, but not like this. But I'll breach these walls so I can just walk into sight and just sit on an angle for some time and just watch. Because now this might bleed into gameplay, but as an attacker, when it comes to having a good positioning, you have 3 angles you could get kills from. Not only because you did it, but it's contesting. They're going to push you. Because why the fuck, would they run if they know you're here? They're going to contest you. Or have someone hold their peak and then you then hold that peak and then they run. So you're going to be contested by good players, bad players, because it's not honestly about them being bad or good. It's about the privilege and the consequences if they don't deal with you. They have to deal with you. It's like a Cali 20 yards away just sniping, hoping for one headshot. That's something that you can't test. If you test your luck on running through the fucking barricade while it's open with the Cali, you might as well just not try to run. Just walk and hope she misses you. You know what I'm saying? Because there's nothing that you can do about that. And what I'm talking about, the exact thing I'm talking about, this right here. Callie can't see shit. She can't do anything. Might as well just make, like, you know, head host here, but she can't do anything. And her job is just to hold the cross. That's it. One job. She has one job. Just one. That's it. So when it comes to that, it's like, bro, do I have to hold this angle? You don't have to hold it, but, you know, siege timing, And just honestly, when you want to let go of it, that's when someone finally walks through it. So you might as well just play it for the time, and then when that time goes down to the rightful time, then you just leave it and just go in the building. And then for players like that, it's easier to enter because everything that your teammate has went through, like rooms, doorways, has already been cleared. Have you noticed when where are they? Have you noticed in some scenarios where sight is upstairs, right? Can't break that. You notice sight is upstairs. You notice sight is upstairs, and then enemies just rush in through mud. They rush in through mud and immediately have control of laboratory case. Why is that? It's a I believe in my head it deals with being tunnel visioned. Not as for the defender but for the attacker. I mean, rushing in siege honestly helps a lot, but it does nothing for the team when they can't speed up the tempo. But go through mud, blah blah blah, you come through here, and then you're already getting a kill. Why should this be a thing? Because when most people rush mud, me as a defender, I'm already downstairs. I'm not here. As a defender, I'm already downstairs. So I'm not worried about nothing above me. I'm worried about everything that's going to be coming downstairs. Because you can't do much to clear out somebody in mud. You know what I'm saying? You can't do much to clear somebody in this hallway, but come downstairs, right? So I'm already downstairs waiting for something to happen, and then you just wait for a kill, boom, bang, pop, and then you go back upstairs. Because why should an attacker rush through mud, not get shot, not get shot, not get shot, not get shot, or someone here, shield, not get shot, or someone here, not get shot, not get shot. You know what I'm saying? So all those not get shots, like what? Probably six or seven get shots I just said? Whatever. All those you get shot at, why aren't you dying, bro? Why are you rushing mud and immediately taking control of the library staircase? That is impossible. And that's why I feed into the roaming aspect, but I'm not here for that, bro. Just roamers are so weird nowadays, bro. Like, they don't know how to roam correctly. Yeah. And also, Grim. This would touch on, and I'll finish off on this, on the formations and honestly just the attack at its coreness. This is like, you already know that. Blase squaze. Huda huda huda. Yoda yoda yoda. This is sight. When you want to do a strat, like I said from the beginning, a strat comes from where you are spawning. If you are too far, I'm not saying that strat won't work, but if you're too far, enemies might push up on that or put more YouTube than usual, or honestly just play that as hard as you are attacking it. So when it comes to strats and honestly trying to cause confusion, and not cause confusion, but literally get inside the maze of the enemy created, which is their site setup. Of course, you can look at default plan and cover that. So whenever you can take your eyes off this for a little bit, but just because they're scanned doesn't mean that they're gonna care about you pushing them. Because let's just say you scan somebody. Somebody can be watching them for you to push them, and then as you're full sprinting, you get killed. Because you're only focused on what you're pinging, not who's covering him, you know? So don't move too fast. Don't let your mind move too fast than your hands. Because you may think he's free, but reality, there's a guy with a fucking ACOG scope, a Rooney, holding a tight ass angle, waiting for you to push him, thinking he's safe. But no, he's watching him. And then they get defused off because you ran full sprint to someone hoping they're a solo, and they're not. You know, even though you didn't scan them, but you just have to put that into perspective in a mindset like, okay, what if someone's watching him? I have to, not rush in yet, but, watch my angles, time this defuse. It takes 4 ticks. It takes 4 ticks for it to actually complete a defuse. So, you have 2 seconds to, like, see what's going on and then push him, But for Grim, I love Grim. I don't use him as much, but I love Grim. I love Grim. Your teammates need you. Yeah? Let me use Ash again to destroy shit. Your teammates need you, but you just can't get upstairs. This isn't a strategy. Well, it is. This isn't something that takes skill, but just patience. You say... Okay, you say your teammates need you, but you can't go upstairs. There's barbed wire, there's cameras everywhere, thorn traps. You're just stuck. You can't really get upstairs in time. You can't make it. All these holes I made with Ash are default spots that enemies like to sit, and util that plays those areas. So, like Grim, for example, anything Grim, nades, sends, whatever you could do to help the team out, you can be a good asset. No fucking way. Supposed to stick, but yo, it's supposed to stick. Why is it not sticking? Anyways, if you want to cover these areas, and I'm not gonna go through every map, but it's just one of the common maps that I could honestly remember. If you want to help your team out on trying to ping somebody, hold their position, hold a push, something that can cause the enemy to get scanned. These are the holes you would make to cover it. You have that, the closet. That's the closet area. So whoever wants to peek this window can't peek it. They're peeking on the closet. You have this default half wall. If they want to swing, double out on double window, bro, what the fuck is wrong with this shit, bro? I'm sorry. Like, it sticks and drops. What the fuck? Anything default, but try to do it here, not on that area, because you want to get this half wall cleared out. They can't swing double or swing canine. Of course, default site. I mean, default plant. But now with default plant, you can honestly ping the guy on mirror as well. So the guy, whoever's on the mirror, yeah, on the mirror, you can get ping on the mirror. And this has to be one of my favorite ones. jacuzzi. If you have a motherfucker, I don't care. If you have a mother trucker who's sitting on his bitch, just sitting there, just hoping for a freaking kill, bro. Not moving. They're under hard floor. This is jacuzzi. You cannot shoot through it. So, the only way to get this little fucker pinged the only way to get this motherfucker pinged is you have to get on a little this platform or from here, but and get him. So for your teammate who's on this window, they are notified he's here. And also the guy on double window can have a whole cross on this guy if sight isn't set up properly. So ever. Takes so ever. Takes so ever. Well, I lie. You can't have a cross on this guy, bro. If I had a cross on this guy, bro, that'd have been wild. But yes, anyone who's trying to push up solar in this bedroom, I mean not bedroom, this bathroom window can see the guy sitting here from under, literally from under. So without you being visible, you help a lot. You literally help a lot. You help a ton. Don't ever think that it's because you're not in the mix you're not useful. You are useful. You have the doorway as well, and this is very a good spot to attack as well. If enemies really want to take this and hold you hard as fuck, you can take that. And also you have the wall here, you can shoot it and then, you know, be it. And then you have owl. You have owl. You have the entrance of owl, and then you have owl itself. And then whoever's on these two positions get pinged. I don't see anyone laying here. So if you could, I mean, just be it if you need to, but I don't see much. But that'd be a little cool spot. But anyone owl, anyone bathroom, you can beat them off and blue bang bop. And like I said, this is not really a strat or being good or bad or not even knowing the map. All you have to do is just get not call outs. All you gotta get call outs. And remember, you can shoot through things. Take your time, shoot through things. You can't shoot through this. You can't through here. So take your time. Like, even though you want to be in the mix, you don't have to be in the mix to help your teammate. Go downstairs, go under the enemy, and just beat stuff. Nade. You know, try to get like a vertical way of getting these guys out of here, and that's pretty much it, bro. Yeah, pretty much it. That's my conclusion on how to attack and actually have a solid formation. I didn't speak a lot about formation because I honestly, my headspace isn't there to actually speak. I want to speak like pro. I want to speak pro talk, so I'm not gonna get too much into that and lose my copper players. So yeah, you don't have to be. Okay, I'll say this now. You don't have to be in the building to support a kill, but you have to be in the building to get a kill. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be outside, sure, get on a fucking drone. Go Finca. Go someone like Lion, you know? You can be in spawn, but go Lion, go Finca. Go someone that can honestly help the team out as you sit back and just watch. But if you want actually kills for yourself, you have to get in the mix. And that's with any operator. I don't care who it is. Get in the mix, you know? And just support. Finca can't do much but nade. I don't expect you to nade a fucking soft wall. I expect you to heal me when I'm low, and that's your job. You would expect me to do everything because I have a shotgun, pistol, I have an AR, ACOG, I have Bs, I have EMPs. If a Capcan hits my Finka, she's low, but she can still boost herself. If I'm Grim, I can EMP it, and I can save us literally 20 to 15 to 20 seconds off of a explosion from our health, and then just use the 3 boosters for something better than this fucking Capcan trap, So it goes a long way. It's very a lot to think about. It's a lot to actually take in as an attacker. But that is just my conclusion on, and my thoughts on how to attack and have a formation. And again, before I go, you don't have to be a good player. Take your time, talk to your team, and make a push. And it can be something small. It can be I'm gonna push from here, push from there, spawn here, spawn there. Get those small things rolling. Trust me. Once you have think about this. Once you have a spawn habit of spawning close to site as possible, you would love playing attack. Because people say, well, I hate attack. It sucks. The maps are terrible on some attacks. Defense is better. It's better to defend all these maps, or in general, defense is always better. That's not always the case. Which it has maps that's meant for defense, but not always the case. But yeah, talk to your team. If you're a bot or AI, you just completely trash. Just talk to your team, yourself, your duo, your trio, your stack, and just start normalizing spawning close to site, and having your team spawn with you, or spawn in sync. Like, if I'm north, you're south, we should meet up in the middle, and then we push. It might not make a difference, but it make a big difference, because what you see on your side, I can't see on my side. So you can get info on your side, I get info on my side, and we come together and we push the middle. So we already know what's bound for us if we go here or go there. So on the safe side, let's just push in the middle, and that can honestly help us a lot if we just listen to our intuition and our guts to say that someone has to be here. Let's push this, let's swing this, let's nade this, let's do something small. Cause I'm not gonna lie, these bots, these AIs, the fast plants, they have it down. These fast plants, they have it down. You got it. They know the Monty, the Ying, the Osa, the Lion. They know who to pick because they watch TikTok. They watch the minimal things. But when it comes to a strat where they have a Warden, C4 baits, you have people who literally run in the smoke and fucking knife you. You have people who go under and C4 you. All that could be prevented if you just try to isolate and honestly know who you're going up against. Because I'm going to say it. Those fast rushes, Ying, Lion, Osa, Gridlock, Amaru, they work, but they don't work to execute. They work, but they don't work to finish. You may get 2 kills, that's it. The round lost, 3-0. As in operators, because 2 kills, you die, whatever. But yeah, it works, but it won't finish. You may get it, you may, again, go Amaru. You might get 2 kills and die, but still lose the round. You may do a fast plant, still lose, because, C4s fly. People go under, people run out. People know when you plant, you're obviously you're going to back up. You won't play the room like Monty's plant and just back up. Play the building, play it, cover it, make yourself known. You're a pawn, yeah, you're a pawn, show yourself. There's nothing that can honestly hurt you but melees, C4s, or just your toes. So in that sense, nothing is wrong when it comes to attacking. It's not. It's just the communication. You could do what you want, but please, if you have a fucking mic, talk, say something. if you're not sure, like, I need help, guys. You know, like you're scared. Just don't play scared and then just feel bad. No, if you feel scared, say something. You have a ping wheel. Help. You know, you know, it helps. It helps. But I hope I did touch on certain things. I hope I did touch on the important things. Uh, yeah, that is how you attack and have a formation in siege. Like always, have fun. GG's, man.